Hey, what is up everybody? It has been a while, hasn't it? My name is Kate, and I'm the internet's most obscure zombie idol. This year for Halloween, I wanted to do a spooky drawing, since I'm a zombie and all. So I decided to do a nice, scary drawing of the one and only Apprentice of Death herself, Calliope Mori. One other thing, I have something pretty special for this one. Da 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 da! I have a Halloween costume! Isn't it cool? It's not very much, but I think it's really fun. One other thing before I get started is a photosensitivity warning. I really wish I was able to just record my whole canvas, but either my program doesn't allow it, or I'm just an idiot and I can't figure out how to do it. So yeah, all the zooming in and out on the canvas in fast forward can get a little bit headache inducing. My apologies. I tried to edit the worst of it out. Okay, so disclaimer over, spooky time now. So I started with this really big, really messy sketch that I didn't record myself drawing because it took me forever to get the proportions right and it wasn't very interesting. But now that I have the very basics blocked out, I can start doing my actual drawing and start working on her lovely face. Here it's right now I'm just doing my really loosest sketch that will make it easier to draw my line art from. It'd be a huge pain to do line art directly from that really messy sketch, so it's easier to kind of do another one, a level 2 sketch. I really don't know why I thought the site had 3 spokes originally, but I got it fixed anyway, and here we're working on this hand that gives me, that haunts my nightmares, that hand. You'll see me come back to it a whole bunch of times. So now I can sort of adjust things a little bit and then begin working on line art. And something you'll see me do quite a lot is just draw a big sweeping line or shape and then grab it with my select tool and kind of maneuver it into position. And that's because I draw on a tablet with my fingers. Funny story, I put my stylus through the washing machine. I was pretty bummed about it. It was a dumb thing to do. But yeah, doing that select thing makes it a whole lot easier to do those like really nice, clean lines and shapes for drawing with your fingers. It probably also helps if you're drawing on a mouse too. So I'm working now on that little neck thing. It it bugged me a lot. You'll see me come back and mess with it later. But for now, I'm kind of tidying up where I cross the lines because it's a lot easier. It makes your lines look a lot nicer to kind of overshoot them and then erase, because having a nice long line makes things straighter and smoother. And I'm doing that select thing some more, because it's really the only way to get good long straight lines if you're just drawing with your fingers. This hand is the bane of my goddamn existence. You'll see me come back to it later. And yeah, because I couldn't quite figure out the proportions for that neck thing, I ended up tracing it over on that reference and then bringing it over to look at so that everything would be in the right place. Also, here in this house, we simplify lace because we work smarter, not harder. since the whole thing is going to be black anyway, the lines aren't going to be that visible, and it's really not that important. Her little like intricate belt is so cute. These are little character design things that I never think of, those tiny intricate details, and I like them a lot. So I had a lot of fun drawing them on Callie. I'm just about done with the line art here as soon as I'm done drawing the scythe, and the scythe has a name, doesn't it? I don't know all of her lore. It's called like Ricky or something. And so here I'm using my elliptical ruler, which is really handy dandy. If you have tools like that on your drawing program, it is really in your best interest to use them. It is not cheating. The thing that helps you draw a circle is really your best friend. So now that my line art is done, I'm gonna come in and put each of the solid colors on their own layer. Basically, I just want to make sure nothing is touching anything else, so that when I come in and color like this, I can kind of just lock the transparency on all my layers and then go wild without worrying about coloring on top of something else. Callie's eyes, something about them that I really like is that there aren't really pupils in the line art. It's all in the shading, and it's really pretty. And over here, I grabbed some shiny gold colors from her character model. Part of that was, I mentioned I was cropping out the worst of the zooming in and out. That was a lot of it. Then coming in here, part of the reason I put those sleeves on their own layer of black as opposed to with the rest of the cloak is because they're out in the front, so they're like lit differently, which means that they're shaded differently in a different like group. The metallic colors on this scythe ended up being a lot browner than I thought they were. Like they're color grabbed and they look right. It's just it sort of surprised me how brown they were when I was coloring it in. So now I can come in and add her. I finally fixed that. The one thing on that hand I figured out what was bothering me was that knuckle. So now I can come in and do her scary shadow, and that was fun to play with, although I've hidden it for now so that I can do all the things under it. So now I'm working on just kind of shading extra things. I'm starting on that like scary shadow under her hood. I've hidden it so that I can work on the staff a little more and her hands a little bit. Why did I say staff? And so play with that for a minute, and then I can add some shading around her fingers and add a little bit of sparkle to her crown. And then I get to play with my favorite part, which is the different blending layers. I'm not exactly sure which one I used because I played around a bunch with them. I'm gonna edit in which one I used. But I really like using these tools. I'm definitely not an expert in using them. I mostly just kind of mess around with it and see what looks cool. But it's really fun to mess around with, like. And then now that I'm happy with that, I can move on to doing the background. And for the background, I really only wanted to keep it very simple. Backgrounds are not my strong suit. So I just stuck to some silhouettes, you know, the classic spooky trees, scary bird, you know, the basics. I like spooky trees because they're really pretty easy to draw, and they always come out looking really cool. You know, again, we are working smarter, not harder here, people. Yeah, so fill in my spooky tree silhouettes. spooky trees, and there's one little more back there. Then I can work on the dangly thing. I don't know what that stuff is. People draw it hanging from spooky trees. Is it like weird moss? I don't know. And then come in with the moon, and I've got this cool gradient tool, which is all I'm gonna use for this guy. It's pretty simple, but that's what I like in a background myself. So I'm gonna come in and do a little bit of shading on all my silhouettes, not like a ton, because I still want them to be really simple silhouettes, but just add a little bit of color in, and then I can bring her in and mess with the lighting some, just a little bit more, play with some more shadows and a little bit of moonlight, and then I will be just about finished. Anyway, check it out. It's pretty cool, don't you think? Oh, by the way, I have one more cool thing for you. So, thanks for watching. See you soon.
If you take my advice, you'll be killed, though what you don't know. But the other saying that I like so much more is along the lines of your reef, which I fucking say so. Setting out do as I'm supposed to do. I'll get close to you, don't mind I do, if it's alright with you. But I end your line, go mash you, so that you must have seen the kudasai. Kill it with the bass. Kata, suno, koto, ga, kano, shin. Teehee, bitch. Murder is so fucking kawaii. Kawaii na. Shinigami sensei, Calliope. Kill it with the bass till you get me to say, alright, yeah. Second to answer. So it goes. Dead beats, listen up, it's what you want me coming in the night for ya. Bass high enough to exterminate ya. You'll dance anyway, cause it's human nature.